Hey everyone, we're at BD Riley's after the Leicester Liverpool match. Winners 3-0. John, we continue this run heading into the end of the season. Hopefully, it's not um, too much too late, but the way the lads are playing, it's looking good, right?
It is, and it might be a little bit too little, too late in the end, but at least then we can take the positives from it and stuff. Yeah, 7 wins on the trot. I'm not, maybe probably I would doubt. I guess Arsenal probably had that at some point in the season, but at least it proves that we're kind of capable of those long runs, and it'll give everybody confidence going into the next season if we don't get what we want, which is fourth place.
What it also does is put pressure on Newcastle and Manchester United to continue to try to get results in their remaining games, put them under the cosh, and there's I still feel that there's some points to be dropped, and who knows what's going to happen. But let's go back to the game. The lineup I thought pretty much said itself. Jones continues to get
Mm-hmm.
runs. I think they were mentioned ninth game on the trot that he's been in the lineup. I don't think it's a coincidence that we've played better since he's gotten in the lineup. A little bit more energy in the midfield.
Yeah,
Hey, so
I mean his legs I think have helped, as well as Trent's legs being in the midfield alongside Fabinho more. It's given us just I think we all kind of saw Fabinho and Henderson just didn't have the legs this season for whatever reason. Whether that continues next season is another question. But to continuously play together and they just couldn't cover the ground that they used to cover, and so we've just found a new way to cover that ground. And yeah, Jones has been excellent, outstanding today, probably man of the match. And he's been gradually, you can see that confidence with every game that he's not quite playing it as simple as he was when he first came in, which is natural, right? You come into the team, and at first it's just like do the simple things. But I think we watched them academy games and stuff, and anyone that has knows that he's got so much more flair in his locker, and he's starting to show that a bit now.
yeah, it's always been funny with Jones. Like people are saying, he's so inconsistent. Like when has he really had a run of
Well, yeah,
games? So it's hard to be consistent when you're playing sporadically. There's only a few people that can be like a Divock who can come in once a
right.
month and score a goal. But he seems to be releasing the ball a little quicker. He's always had the technical abilities. He's making the runs, and I think adding Trent into the midfield as well allows Jones to play further up the pitch where he's not so defensive conscious
Mm-hmm.
that he's normally is to protect the back four. Um, you have an engineering background. It's hard to troubleshoot, what has been the catalyst for this turnaround, whether it has been Trent coming in, whether it's been Jones coming in, whether it's been Jota and Diaz finally being healthy. Fabinho looks like he's more fit now than he was
Right,
at the beginning
right.
of the season, right? And so, because I know we were speaking to some people before, he was probably man of the match going into halftime. Just the way his tackling has
Yeah.
gotten better. His tackling is higher up the pitch, where to me that's very indicative of he's feeling that he can get back
Mm-hmm.
if there is a counterattack. So a lot of positives from today, but you have to give it to Jones. Two quality finishes.
Mm-hmm.
The first one just recognizing the space and the run, and Salah picking his head up and seeing the far post, and coolly slotted into the far post by Jones on the one timer, and then his second goal was pretty sublime as well. So
Yeah, outstanding performance for him. I totally agree with you. Fabinho was very, very solid today. Um, I think a little bit of that, I still feel like he got caught just maybe once or twice on the ball where a really fast team like Arsenal or Man City is still a little bit worried about him. But against most teams, I still think he's got a lot to offer. And now that he's got somebody close to him than Trent usually, um, with more legs, then he's looked much better. And he's not done. A lot of people kind of writing him off due to age, which I didn't really understand. He's like 29, or at least at the start of the season he was, I think. And he's not done, but he's certainly slowed. Um, so yeah, he's been a good few games from him too, and just it's a good all round performance. Yeah, it's a poor Leicester team. You have to probably say they kind of came out and gave it a go at the beginning, and almost like It's almost like they just saw the Brentford game and thought, oh yeah, we'll the refs are gonna love it if we just as soon as somebody gets near us, Madison just falls over like he's been hit by a bunch of bricks, and Pawson just kind of decided, yeah, I like that strategy. I'll help you. But fortunately, it wasn't good enough to do much, and eventually their weaknesses defensively were just pretty obvious.
We missed some goals too, right? It could have been
Yeah.
easily 4 or 5-0.
Salah didn't quite have his shooting boots on today, and he'll be frustrated with himself. But I mean, you can't complain too much. He's going to get 20, I think, by the end of the season. So
That still was a shocking miss, though, right?
it was a bad. And he for some reason that cut from the right onto his left foot. He can't get that curler this season. I don't know why. I'm sure it'll come back though.
I mean, it's a luxury when he's missing and we still win 3-0, right? And Diaz kind of his dribbling and his passing was kind of off
He
all
was a
game,
little off,
right?
yeah.
But the luxury is to having all those quality players and then having the quality of Gapco. I thought he played rather well. He made some curious decisions at times, but he's a nuisance in the middle of the park, and allowing Jones to have the freedom to run in, and the defense having to account for Diaz coming in, and then
Right.
Jones and even Rabo overlapping on that
Yeah.
left. It's really they create those overloads, and it's pretty difficult playing a team that is really they're in the relegation zone. There's no doubt about it, and I'd be very surprised if they can scrape their way out of it at
They
this
look,
point.
yeah, they look poor, and they've got Newcastle to play. I don't think they're going to help us out much against Newcastle, I'm afraid. So we're going to have to rely on maybe Chelsea and Brighton to help us there, maybe. So yeah, I think they're going to struggle at the end of the season. Who goes down between them, Leeds and Everton? I guess I don't know. They're all pretty poor, to be fair. But
One of the things that we don't want to forget to mention is that Allison he was playing a really high line, played that sweeper keeper
played
to
excellent.
perfection, and then he did have to make a save. He made that with his top hand, that fully stretched
Mm-hmm.
out. He made that save, and there's no doubt about it. He's the best keeper in the Premier League.
For sure, and he's been our best player, I think, hands down all season. Um, he's a couple of outstanding saves. I think the first one that he makes early in the game from Vardy might have been off, but still he makes the save, and he made a couple great, early coming off his line early to clear the ball. So yeah, another outstanding game from him, and he'll be delighted to get the clean sheet again.
Yeah. One of the thing is about with the Trent kind of hybrid role is that when there is a change of possession, he's already the double pivot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that offers that immediate protection for Fabinho. And if they want to hit that diagonal ball into that space that he's vacated, Kanate was a beast today.
Yeah, Kanate was
He was a
outstanding.
man about boys,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah. He was superb, and you know, no idea why Pawson gives him a yellow at the end there because catches the guy on the toe, but he's clearly going for the ball. It wasn't like a reckless. It wasn't endangering anyone. But I thought he was a superb game. The only thing that you still see, and it'll be interesting to see next year, what we kind of, I mean, there's always, as Rafa used to say, you pull the bed sheet up, and there's always going to be something that you give up. And there were a few times today when the Trent was way over past the midfield, and also Kanate was over that side, and there's nobody on the right at all, no option to pass it out there. But it wasn't too big of a problem. You're asking Salah to do a lot of covering there, and come back, and so sometimes if he's in the box, then you're not going to have somebody on the with Henderson. Generally, would offer that. So, but overall, I mean, it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think if you do get some younger legs in the
Mm-hmm.
midfield, and you can stop a lot of those quick diagonal balls into that space that Trent has vacated, I think it's gonna work out. A lot of people are calling for him just to go into midfield, but being a contrarian, I feel like
You do.
he gets that space because he's a fullback and he
Mm-hmm.
comes in, and then they outnumber the midfield. Whereas if he was already in the midfield, I don't think he gets a lot of the time and space that he's getting right now. But we could talk about that next season. I do want to talk about his goal. What a goal that was!
Superb. And you shouldn't really underestimate the precision of Salah's. We talked about Salah shooting boots weren't
Yeah,
on
yeah.
today, but he still gets the assist.
Two
and
assists today.
got 2 assists. Yep. So he's involved in everything, no matter what, and just you got to get that rollback, that back heel just weighted perfectly because Trent's already having to run as soon as Salah's running, and so but what a hit, man! I mean, it's just perfect.
You know,
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. It's a good day when we're double fisting
Yeah.
after the game. But it was so to me, it was so simple. It was you just put it out there and he curves it. I mean, very few keepers are going to get to that ball, you know, from that 20 yards that he was out, and the technique
Yeah, I mean, it
and
was right in the side net and had so much bend on it. And it didn't, even if you know where it's going, that's almost impossible to stop. It was just perfection. Yeah.
yeah, I thought Robbo played well down that left flank. Even at the end of the game, you saw him, driving to the goal and creating chances. And I thought it was a professional performance. Once again, you can only beat who you play,
Mm-hmm.
and but the quality of the team is there, and whatever the end of the season happens, we have momentum going into. And if we all recall, we had momentum going into last season,
Mm-hmm.
off of getting
Right.
fourth, and that turned into a bid for the quad. So I'm very excited. The people are getting back to fitness, and I know Klopp is ready for a full preseason without it being compressed because of the World Cup, and
And
you got to be positive about
yeah, and it, imagine we're going into the season and we hadn't had any kind of run. We just continued this poor form.
it. Hmm.
Then it puts so much pressure on whoever we bring in to immediately hit the ground
Hmm.
running and so on. But this now the whoever we bring in is going to be coming into a team that feels like they're already kind
Yeah.
of some form and stuff. The people that are leaving haven't been
Yeah.
playing anyway, so it's
Right.
not really a factor.
Right. So
So
it's not the massive overhaul that everybody
no,
was thinking
exactly
2 or 3 months ago. We need 10 players. No,
right.
we never needed 10 players. Got to get the people healthy, get them playing, and a lot of those people have been silent in the last 6 games anyway. You
Yeah,
don't see them on social media now, and that just goes to show that when you have a quality team, an experienced team, a mature team, you're not that far away. Things happen. You have to just take it and then move on. And you can just see the pieces are starting to come together. Klopp is having a good time again. The players seem to be having fun again. And the results on the pitch show.
yeah.
That was pretty comprehensive today. We haven't looked at the data or the stats after the
No,
game, but I'm pretty sure it's off the charts. Yeah.
yeah. Leicester maybe had a shout for a couple of chances, but they, partly we have one of the best keepers in the world, and so that's just good recruiting. That's good, even if they have chances, having one of the best keepers in the world helps. And then on the other end, we weren't really finishing as well as we should have done today. So it could easily have been a 4-1, 5-1 type of a game anyway.
Well, that's the recap of the game today. We're here at BD Riley's. So whenever you come to Austin, come to BD Riley's, watch the match, have a pint with us. I think we're still wishing we were still in Liverpool. That's what, 2 weeks ago, maybe. I don't even
My
know.
liver's not, but yeah,
The
that
livers
was
hasn't
good
recovered
times.
yet. The sleep patterns are still off.
Yeah.
But all our friends that we got to see in Liverpool while we were there, we appreciate your support of the podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.